Well, hi.
Hello.
Hey. We got dragged into the Misericorde to... I don't have anything funny to add that up. I was going to try to find a pun, but it didn't come to me in time, and now I'm just stammering for...
Anyway.
As we were. Catherine smirked.
I think the voters have spoken, Cicero.
Ugh.
Right, chess until then. I'm not particularly interested in playing myself, but I wouldn't mind watching these two go at it.
She waved her cup between Moira and Adela.
I am willing, as long as my opponent respects the rules and the spirit of the game.
Adele is still angry about getting... My opponent does not understand who the real threat at the table is in Commander. She was attacking me when I clearly only had a few lands up and some mana rocks. That's disrespectful to the nature of the game.
Of course.
Everyone began shuffling furniture around to accommodate the pair of them. I tried my best to help, although I seemed to recall that any time I moved toward a chair or barrel, someone else was already there. Eventually, I just held back, not wanting to continue getting in the way.
Adela and Moira sat across from each other and started to play.
The conversation in the room began to blend into nothingness in my ears.
Is it time to spin the chessboard around?
Maybe.
Is it time to spin the chessboard around?
It might be.
Ah!
I watched the game idly with my back against the wall. I struggled to get comfortable. I adjusted and readjusted my stance, unable to stand completely still, always shifting to touch another part of the wall with my back or hand. My behavior must have been very concerning because, upon catching my eye, Margaret furrowed her brow and walked toward me.
What are you doing all the way over here, Hedwig?
Ah!
There's a spare seat, you know.
Oh, no, I am quite comfortable here.
They even saved a seat for her and Hedwig.
Is that bit just under the text green?
Yeah, I think there is occasionally a little bit of green slipping. That's not the first time it's shown up.
Okay.
I think it's just an artifact of how some of the effects are done.
I see. I couldn't tell if I should be paying attention.
No, it came up also before in the first volume as well.
As long as you aren't feeling left out.
Before he could ask what on earth she meant by that, she turned away and walked back to her chair. As far as I could tell, Adela was making strong headway against Moira. Spirits were much higher, it seemed, than they had been in their previous game. Adela was loud and determined, but was far happier in her boasting than she had been the night she had flipped the table over in frustration. Moira, too, was in a fine mood. She appeared to be having a grand time, even though she was losing.
Moira, you can't just throw.
She laughed as she acquiesced to each of Adela's attacks, and narrated all her own moves with charming commentary.
Oh no, are they Let's Playing their own game of chess?
I tensed my thighs in frustration, the stone all rough enough to feel on my skin through the fabric of my frock. I wished I could be like them. Talking to people was so easy for all of my sisters. What did they have that I lacked? If I laughed like Moira did every time she realized one of her own chess mistakes, everyone would look at me like I were deranged. I wasn't good enough at chess to play the role Adela was filling for the room then. I had no skills that would make onlookers curious, nor did I have the gravitas to command a room with words alone. I watched the chess game, and smiled when it was time to smile, laughed when it was time to laugh, and nodded whenever someone made an agreeable observation. A passive participant. A reactive presence. A response but never a call. I could have done it forever if I had to.
Man, I know that feeling, Hedwig. I think the thing is, like, Hedwig's got it in her mind that the only ways to participate are to be either completely passive and non-obtrusive, or one of the centers of attention. I don't think Hedwig has found a way to interact with people that is just whatever Hedwig is, right?
Eventually, however, there is a knock at the door. Eustace left her seat to answer, enduring light jeers from the others. Also, they left you a chair open and you're not sitting in it. Start with that.
Yeah. Well, we know it won't be a ghost.
Very funny. The door swung open, but I could not see who had knocked. Oh shit, it is a ghost. After a moment, however, Eustace turned and beckoned me over. Flora wants to ask you something. Oh! Flora's wheelbarrow was sat sideways in the hallway. Darcy stood behind her holding the handles and smiling placidly. I slipped outside the door and Eustace closed it behind me. Did you need something, Sister Flora?
Yeah, I was wondering if I could borrow some of your paints.
My paints?
You know, your inks and temperas and stuff.
Oh, what for?
I want to paint something. We were talking about art, and I remembered you would illuminate manuscripts and that we must have stocks of paint and ink somewhere.
Indeed. I suppose I'd already been volunteered to help Flora learn to draw. I thought about my temperas. The deep blue, the beautiful gold leaf, the fine red that would need multiple coats. I sighed. I had no reason to hold on to them. I can give you the rest of what I had in that box I brought to your first lesson. And I could ask the superior where the rest is. I'd receive replacements here and then that I assume must be kept in a cupboard somewhere. You can have them as long as you promise to save some for our lessons, yes?
Really? I mean, yeah, of course, I can do that.
I was taken aback by Flora's expression. I had seen her smile before, but there wasn't a trace of mischief or sarcasm on her face. Then, if you wait here, I can run and get you that box from my room.
See, I told you, Hedwig is nice. Yeah.
Darcy's like, don't worry, Hedwig is a pushover.
No, I'm sorry, Darcy. I shouldn't put those words in your mouth.
Hedwig's nice even if she is a little homophobic.
Homo what now? I jogged past the stairs to the dormitory and through my door. I had left the box on the thus far empty shelf next to the writing desk, in the same position it would have been on the shelf in my old cell. I opened it to inspect the colors. There was a decent variety here. Blues, reds, yellows, whites, even some gold leaf. I moved one container of black ink that I set atop my writing desk, next to the one I had already been using, just in case. I closed the box and turned to leave. However, on the way out, I noticed that my bed was in complete disarray. The covers were scrunched up into a ball, and to my dismay, there was a large wet patch on my pillow. Had Moira managed to spill something in my room? I hastily rearranged the covers and flipped the pillow over. What? A wet spot on your pillow? So I had an idea before the wet spot was on the pillow. Now I'm back to being confused.
Hey, Hedwig, what does the wet spot smell like?
Because I was like, oh, Hetty, but I don't know. Generally, I need my pillow somewhere else when I'm doing that. So maybe that's just me. Did the cat come in there or something? Maybe she just got really sweaty? I suppose it was only fair that Moira be forgiven for making a mess in my dorm. Yes, Moira made that mess.
We do know that Moira was the last one in here.
That's true. Moira was the last one to sleep.
It's the last one we know of in here. Someone could come in after Moira.
I forgot about that. It's been a little bit since our last recording session for reasons. So yeah, I forgot that Moira was indeed the last person in here. Moira. Moira. I went cold thinking about the ink bottle I'd accidentally smashed in her room. The one that the cat had miraculously eaten the blame for. Could not chastise Moira too harshly.
the other cheek, and so forth. I walked quickly back to the landing where Darcy and Flora were waiting patiently. Here's something to get you started, at least. Without thinking, I plopped the box onto Flora's lap.
Ow.
Sorry.
It's all right.
She opened the box and took stock of the contents.
You said the superior would be able to tell you where more was, yeah?
I would imagine, yes. Is that not enough?
No, this is good. Definitely enough for now.
She smiled at me again, and I smiled back. There was an awkward silence until Darcy cleared her throat.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Hedwig.
You know what? Darcy is the kind of person who would absolutely be able to get through to Flora like that.
Darcy smiled serenely. You're welcome, Flora. What are you going to make?
It's a surprise. For everyone but you, I suppose. But I need to practice first.
Of course. Is that all?
Yeah.
Very well. I'll just get back to it then. Darcy shook the barrow gently as I turned to leave. Trying to summon Catherine again?
Thank you again, Hedwig.
Hey, I smiled over my shoulder and re-entered the Misericorde.
Well, that was awful nice. So, sure hope Flora succeeds in summoning Catherine for the second time.
It'd be alarming if she summoned Catherine the First.
Right? Catherine's just like, wait, what the hell? Hold on, someone's calling me, I need to go. Kool-Aid man's through a wall. What? What do you need?
Premature necromancy, getting revived from the dead while still living.
Proactive necromancy is just making sure making sure they're dead first by any means necessary.
No, proactive necromancy is just making sure you go to your yearly checkup.
I see.
Everyone turned sharply to glare at me as soon as I stepped through the threshold.
You're supposed to knock first.
My apologies.
We're winding you up, Hedwig.
Mostly.
Even so, knocking is a good habit around here.
I get it. Like habit. Like we all wear habits, right? That's the part we're all laughing about, right?
Who knows what we might have been up to?
Of course.
Here, allow me to demonstrate.
That really is not necessary.
Nonsense. I remember when you were bewildered by stairs. There's no shame in needing a quick refresher on common courtesy.
Oh, okay. She marched toward the door, a whimsical expression on her face.
Simply raise your knuckles like so and rap them against the door thusly. Once again, for good measure.
The door swung open.
Hello.
I was hoping that would be the case. I was so hoping. Sometimes I just laugh like an idiot. It's fine.
What? I thought you needed something. You knocked. No, just a joke. What was the joke? It would take too long to explain. Very well then. Bye.
Real sitcom-ass moment right there.
Catherine with a K rolled her eyes and closed the door, then rejoined the others.
So...
What did Flora need?
Oh, I suddenly remember what Moira had told me about Catherine with a K in paintings. Not wanting to spoil the mood, I remained vague. She just had a question about our last art lesson.
Your only art lesson, you mean?
Well, yes, so far. Catherine with a K had no way I was knowing that I was doing this for her benefit, so I ignored the jab. I was annoyed, though. Was Flora complaining about me whenever it was Catherine with a K's turn to push the wheelbarrow?
Well, never mind all that. Is there another wineskin?
I think this one is nearly out.
We only brought one?
I told you Darcy has been a bit anal about supplies recently. And, you know what? No, we're above that. Can we all agree we're above that?
So, we're just meant to sit idly twiddling our thumbs for the next few hours? Well, it sounds like it's time for us to go on that pantry raid then.
No.
Yes. Oh, what fun.
Everyone turned toward me. Well, why not? Everyone except Eustace whooped and clapped.
Then it is settled.
I refuse to whoop and or clap.
Margaret will lead the way, of course. Right you are.
I suddenly came to the realization that I had made a very poor decision. I had been so swept up in the moment that I hadn't thought about the logistics of the night at all. I was here to extract very specific information from everyone present. What if we got caught? What if this expedition took all night, and everyone was too tired to do anything but pick over their ill-gotten wares and eat when we returned to the Misericorde? Oh, I was such a fool.
Darcy is with Flora, yeah? One would assume.
It seemed as though Darcy was spending the evening with her, yes.
Perfect. That makes this fairly straightforward. Hedwig, can I borrow that book?
I'd realized I'd been clutching my workbook to my chest this whole time. I panicked for a moment for the reason that Margaret had already seen it. Everyone would have to know what this book was for. At least what I would tell them it was for eventually. Gingerly, I handed it to her. I nearly retracted my hands when I remembered Eustace was watching, but it was too late. Margaret had already taken the book from my hands. She flipped it open and set it on the chess table.
Does anyone have a... Oh, you've already drawn a map. What on earth for?
Hedwig, you are so bad at this. Hedwig folding at the merest suggestion.
She's been collecting stories about the night, you know, so she can fill in the gap in her chronicles between that and when she started.
A bit of a eulogy, in a way.
That is a very sweet idea.
I barely heard this compliment. Eustace was peering at me strangely over her glasses. I swear I could see her trying to steady her breathing.
So we are here, and the cellars are down here. Shocking revelations. My understanding of the Abbey has been altered completely. Hush. The easiest way to get to the pantry is to simply head down the stairs and hope nobody asks what we're doing on the way. But that is also the boring way. Forgive me for asking, but is the pantry not in the kitchen? There is a pantry in the kitchen, but that's where food for the upcoming days is kept. Darcy moves ingredients from the cellar pantry to the kitchens as needed. She would notice instantly if we took from the kitchens, and, well, it would be a bit annoying.
Okay, so I think that answers my question earlier about how did people not notice the hidden thing in the pantries?
Because it's a different pantry.
Because it's a different pantry. Okay, well, great.
Darcy would have to go stock up from the cellars. Or she'd punish us by cooking very small meals.
Are we sure this is a good idea? I mean, if it's all the same food.
There's plenty of food in the cellars, and we're mostly going to be pinching salted meats, dried fruit, biscuits, etc. Easily replaceable. We do this all the time, Hedwig.
Oh, good to know.
It must be stressed that this barely registers as a crime. It's one of our funny little games, really. Pretending we might get in trouble is half the fun.
I am afraid I do not understand.
The thrill of transgression without any true danger of punishment. A light drubbing from the superior at worst.
I was beginning to understand why the superior was so frustrated with these women. Truly, it seemed like her authority amounted to nothing at all. I glanced around the others. Eustace was still regulating her breathing, staring at some point on the wall past me. Very well. I can play along.
Good. So, we head out of the Misericorde. We dip into the library and head to the shelf on the right that has Catherine II's plays and things on it.
No, we do not.
I'm sorry,
We don't do that. We're not going through the library.
but behind that shelf,
I know. I know what's behind that shelf. I'm the sacristan and I say no. Do you know how much time I had to spend keeping Flora away from that shelf? No mucking about in the library.
goodness, it's just a bit of fun.
For one thing, it would take twice as long as just walking down the stairs.
Well, yes, but this isn't about efficiency.
Moira!
What a good sprite!
Oh! Oh, Chibi Moira is so good!
Right, it'd be fun to show Hedwig and Adela some of the passages, that's all.
You can do that on your own time.
Margaret looked bewildered.
Very well then. Well, Hedwig, you know the drill as well as the rest of us then. We're going to crawl through that false barrel in the cellar. Unless Eustace would prefer to just walk to the pantry door. Leave it. Let's have some fun, yeah? Yes!
Margaret snapped my book shut, and everyone began following her to the door. I reached out to grab it, but Eustace corralled me toward the rest of the group before I could. We spilled out onto the landing. It was quite dark outside now, save for the flickering torchlight.
So Hedwig did not successfully grab her book.
Yep. Darcy and Flora are elsewhere, it seems.
Pantry raid.
Good. Shh.
Margaret began to creep somewhat theatrically toward the stairs down to the lower halls. The others followed suit, getting into the act with enthusiasm. Oh, we're... It's making a bit more sense now where the fun in this is. Right? Like, we all had those moments when we were young, like sneaking around the house, right?
Did you ever go to a summer camp where they did this as part of it?
No. Where they did this as part of it?
Yeah, I used to get sent to a Jesus camp every summer.
My apologies.
And they had a, I'm trying to remember the name of the thing where they would sell, you could get the chocolate bars and the ice cream and the snack food and stuff.
Oh, the commissary?
Yeah, they had a commissary. That's what they called it. And it was enough of a thing for folks trying to get in there at night and get into the snacks and make off with some free stuff that this actually became part of the experience. And it was like, okay, we're actually going to authorize each cabin once per stay can go and get in there after hours and snag some free snack food of their choice, as long as you keep it like under this amount, get whatever you want and don't pay for it. And you all go out and like hang out in a tent in the woods, enjoying your ill-gotten gains and giggling about your stealthy raid and so on, and having a good time, because it would keep people from actually trying to break in there the rest of the week when they knew that, like, oh, we'll do it once safely with a camp counselor participating and overseeing it, so that you don't do it every night and then get tetanus trying to climb over the door or get through something.
No, I can't say that no, my summer camp experience was nothing like that. Wow, strange.
Fun times.
What?
Fun times.
I'm mixed on my summer camp experiences, but I guess overall.
Oh, me too.
Oh, okay.
We all skulked down the stairs and into the cloister. Margaret hugged the wall, and we all sidled along behind her to the entrance to the cellars. There was an air of mockery about the whole enterprise. But even so, I couldn't help but stare at the Superior's door down the way and worry that it might swing open.
Hold on, I think I hear something.
We were as quiet as we could be. I could hear nothing but the breeze.
Wait here.
Margaret ducked down and slipped into the entrance, disappearing down the staircase. I shivered. Moira turned to face me, looked me up and down, and then giggled. She spoke in a tiny whisper.
Are you cold, Hedwig?
Yes, are you not?
I am, but you look very cold.
I furrowed my brow, unsure what she meant. Her eyes flicked downward from mine, and I realized what she meant. I fumed and folded my arms across my chest. Well, the seal has been broken on, right? And we know we're getting bush shots at some time or another, so I feel like, given our point of view character, it's only inevitable. She started giggling so heartily that Eustace had to shush her. Margaret whispered from up ahead.
I think Charity and Marta might be down here. That wouldn't surprise me. But I think they might be asleep. I hear snoring. Let's keep going.
They sleep in the basement? That can't be fun.
And probably not on purpose.
No. I wanted to protest. Surely 6 women crawling through a false barrel would make a lot of noise, but it was too late. Everyone was already following Margaret down the staircase. Felt Eustace's hands on my back pushing me forward. I followed after the others. It was almost pitch black down here, save for a flickering candle somewhere in the rows of casks. Margaret pointed toward the light.
They're over there, I reckon. It's bloody dark down here. Should we fetch a pricket? I know my way around. Just follow me.
Margaret ducked to the right and began leading us through the barrels. I never realized just how maze-like it was down here. I was soon navigating on sound alone, keeping an ear out for shuffling fabric in front of me. For all I knew, we were moving in circles. Every now and then a snore would echo throughout the cellar and all movement would cease. It was during one of these pauses that something caught my eye. Through the rows of casks, I could see a painting propped up on an easel. Is Flora trying to paint Catherine?
Maybe.
As a way to kind of remember her and keep her memory?
Could be.
I could not make out what it was in the dark, nor through the distance, but it made all my hair stand on end. Is that what Flora was working on? I felt a sudden stab of regret. My precious materials were being wasted on crudity. The subject was recognizably human, but it was decidedly formless. It was dark, perhaps hooded. It reminded me of...
Hedwig. Psst.
I turned away from the strange painting and continued following Margaret's voice as best I could. We crept along for a few more minutes, making as little noise as we could. And finally our guide stopped.
It's this one.
Carefully, I saw her open the round door to the tunnel. The latch made a loud, dull clunk. She stopped for a moment, but the snoring had not stopped.
There we go. Everyone in.
She ushered Catherine, Moira, and Adela in, then gestured toward Eustace and I.
I'll join you in a moment. Just remembered I needed to ask Hedwig something.
Now?
Yes.
See you in a minute then.
She slipped inside the barrel tunnel. I could hear relaxed voices emanating from the pantry. I didn't even endorse this endeavor, but the joyful sounds coming from inside were so inviting compared to Eustace's cold stare.
What? Wait, hold on. There it is. There it is. Real Eustace hours.
She yanked my sleeve to tug me away from the false barrel, then pinned me against a stack of real ones. I had only seen her like this once. In the garden the night Flora had gone missing.
You made a promise, Hedwig.
He spoke in a furious, hoarse whisper. Yes, I did. Oh, sorry. Yes, I did, but...
A promise. Abominatio est domino labia mendactia. No. I believe I was very clear.
You were, but... Eustace, you are not the only one I am beholden to on this matter.
Who else? My God, how stupid are you?
The superior, of course. I cannot be idle, I just cannot. She demands results from me, and you demand passivity. I thought I could do both somehow.
Both? What do you mean, both?
Well, I lied. Lied to Margaret. I told her I was asking her questions about the night Catherine was killed.
I already told you what happened that night.
Of course, but that wouldn't be enough.
Enough?
Enough to prove anything one way or another. Telling people that I intend to fill a gap between mine and Catherine's chronicles. Just the night she died, but the days between. Nobody suspects a thing.
So you are breaking your promise. That didn't take very long.
Well, I wasn't going to ask you. Eustace looked at me the way one might regard a fly on their food.
That's your attempt to split the difference. That is what you see us doing both.
Well, I'm lying to them, but not entirely. I do intend to write those chronicles. Everyone will see them. They'll just be helping me work out what happened to Catherine.
Get it through your thick skull. James killed Catherine. You and
I both know that's not true.
It is what the truth has to be. Sometimes it's best to accept an uncomplicated lie than a complicated truth.
You always...
It's so hard to do whisper, Hedwig.
Yeah.
You always speak in riddles about this. What is going on? Are you under threat? What do you know that I do not?
Everything. As I've told you time and time again.
Can't I help you? Is there something I can do to?
No. No, there is not. You have proven that I cannot trust you. And if I cannot trust you, I must move against you.
What?
You heard me. We're enemies now. And we will be until you stop meddling.
What are you going to do to me? Please don't hurt me. I
Hurt you? By all rights, I should kill you.
I let out an involuntary yelp, but Eustace silenced it with her hand.
I should. But I will not have to. Because I have knowledge sharper than any knife. I know why you are here.
I struggled to speak through her hand. What do you mean?
Don't push me. I know exactly why you were sent to this convent all those years ago. I know why you took those vows. I know why your family abandoned you.
I threw her off me in a rage. She collided with the casks behind her with a dull thud. Her glasses were knocked askew. Before I knew it, I was at her throat. Who is the liar here? You couldn't know those things because I don't know those things.
Try me.
There's nothing to know.
Again. Try me.
She spoke in a rasp, and I realized my hand was clenched around her throat. I relented and stood up.
I know that you remember. You must. Why else would you react like this?
Because I don't suffer liars.
Then how do you live with yourself?
She picked her glasses up and set them upon her face.
You know, Hedwig, I've been protecting you from many things here. Some of them important, many of them trivial. Little things that would drive you slowly mad if you saw them. Things that would crack the walls of your righteous little mind. I am done with all of that now. You may do as you please, but understand that as you reap, you shall sow.
What does that mean?
I have always sought only to help.
Then help yourself. Accept the world as it is, or suffer.
Oh, hello. Is someone there?
The candlelight was moving. Eustace nodded toward the barrel tunnel, and I obeyed. We scrambled inside as quietly as we could.
All right.
Stealth mission. We've alerted the guards.
Dude. Oh, yeah, that's the big comment over that past scene. Not the part where Eustace apparently knows why we took our vows?
And suggests that we are lying about a lot of things and that we know stuff we don't admit.
It's so fascinating as well because, again, we would have been a child.
Yeah. Unless that's a lie.
About our age? Or how long we've been there? Or how much we...
About how long we've been there or our
Okay.
age or any of that. Like, we know a lot of things on Hedwig's authority.
That's true. I guess it is on Hedwig's authority that we have those. I just don't see what... And I guess if... Yeah, that would give a reason to lie about it. Be like, no, I've been in here much longer.
I think the other thing that was fun about that conversation is both liars accusing the other of being liars in this. Like, Eustace is very much furious that Hedwig lied at the same time as Eustace is like, what you need to do is accept this convenient lie over the complicated truth.
I mean, there's
and
no...
at the same time, Hedwig is like, I'm mad because I don't suffer liars. And Eustace is like, yeah.
How
so
do
how
you
about
live
you?
with yourself? Yeah, which honestly, woo-hoo-hoo.
Everybody lies constantly.
God. Also, the bit where, like, it is also worth pointing that Eustace is being a hypocrite. She might think that she is, it is on the better. But, yeah, that is asking, Hedwig to keep secrets that she... asking Hedwig to accept a lie when she herself will not suffer being lied to in return.
Yep.
What does Eustace know about us?
It's interesting that, as well, the I should kill you is kind of an extreme response.
Yeah,
But I won't have to because I have knowledge sharper than any knife why you're here. So something about why Hedwig is here is such a bomb that you don't need to kill her, that it would stop her from accomplishing whatever it is that she might do that threatens you, just to know why she's here.
Now, here's one last thing to put into this. There is also a version where Eustace is mistaken.
Ooh.
I don't know that we have to assume that just yet, but everybody lies constantly. Maybe the reason Eustace thinks she has knowledge is because she was lied to as well.
That could be.
Yeah, so I don't doubt her that she thinks she has a bombshell on Hedwig.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it is Hedwig in the presence kind of prerogative that she can kind of gloss over that. We just kind of have to take her at her word that she doesn't remember, right?
We emerged into the pantry. The others appeared to be having a grand time picking through jerky, sausages, crackers, and all manner of other treats.
Took you long enough.
I could speak a little louder in here, although everyone was still somewhat hushed.
Think we might have woken Charity by accident. Should stay in here for a bit. Wait for her and Marta to leave.
Or pass on, which might take, I don't know, 5 minutes?
Everyone chuckled darkly.
Are you well, Hedwig?
I'm Hedwig.
She's fine. Just chatting. I had some burning questions for her about Trier.
Trier?
Burning questions. Sorry. It'd be really funny if it somehow involved a burning boat. Because what do we know about... We had some tantalizing clues, right, about Hedwig's past in Trier? About a boat too full.
Yeah, sound of water.
Yep. So, And Eustace is like, not only... I also think this is a great object lesson. She's also now just seeding this stuff for other people. Right? She didn't need to get everyone else thinking about Trier. She chose to do that.
Yep.
It's not that she's just sitting back and letting what happen will. She is actively fucking with Hedwig now.
Where she's from?
Midnight seems a strange time to ask someone about the old days.
Eustace picked up a bit of sliced sausage and bit into it with rancor.
It was relevant. I wanted to know her opinions on German sausage before I picked anything to eat.
Ah, well, take your pick.
The others were holding their frocks out to carry their piles of food. Eustace was already walking around the room picking whatever she liked from the barrels and jars. I followed suit, but I was not hungry. My mind and heart were racing. Enemies? It was too much to bear. I'd been indecisive for so long, surreptitious and quiet for so long. I had never wanted to make an enemy. In the back of my mind, there had always been a fear that moving too far in any direction would cause great scorn. Eustace felt like the worst possible foe I could have earned. I wanted to burst into tears and beg forgiveness. And I wanted to wring her neck. More indecision.
I think it's really interesting that I also think it's a little unfair the terms Eustace set down for her. We know Eustace kind of had an idea of when the new oblates, that there would be new oblates, right? She was evasive about it, but she kind of had the idea. She also asked Hedwig to hold off specifically for how long?
Was it 1 week?
1 week. What else is happening in 1 week?
Bishop leaving?
The bishop leaves with James.
Yeah, and that's the point, right?
Yeah.
That's
So that's the point, is
terms.
that she wanted Hedwig to wait until there was nothing more that could be changed about James taking the fall for this.
Yep.
Right? Although she never said that aloud.
I tried to focus on picking enough meats and fruits to avoid suspicion. The last thing I needed was another Hedwig. Are you feeling well? Oh, what a miserable wretch I was. One tiny sliver of determination. One small light I had nurtured in my soul. And this is all it had earned me. After sneaking back upstairs, we whiled away the remaining hours in the Misericorde, eating our pilfered treats and chatting idly. I scarcely remember what was said, to be perfectly truthful. I dutifully fulfilled my role as a passive participant, as I had many times. This time, however, I could not carry the mood all by myself. The joke started to come slower. The idle chatter became more inane. Eustace's foul mood was radiating outward, and Catherine with a K had returned to acting rather odd. She would stare at the wall in between bits and pieces of conversation, occasionally nibbling at her food, but never leading the conversation the way she often would. Finally, Eustace stood up and brushed the crumbs off her frock.
Time for me to head out for the night, I think. Some work to do before bed.
Good night, then. Yes, good night.
Everyone chimed in except me. I wasn't sure what to say. I was worried that any direct contact between Eustace and I would result in my fingers getting bitten off. Eustace left the room. When the door closed, everyone who remained exchanged pensive glances.
I'm not mad, am I? Did I miss something happening with her? I didn't want to say anything. Nor me. Most strange.
All eyes fell to me. Well. We had a bit of an argument, I suppose, in the cellars.
Oh, whatever about?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to leave and go to bed right this instant. I glanced at my workbook still resting on the chess table. What could I say?
Wait, they made it back up?
Yeah.
When? When did that happen? I feel like I missed a scene.
I think it just cut.
Oh, it was right there, wasn't it?
After sneaking back upstairs.
After sneaking back upstairs. Okay.
Yeah, and also Misericorde.
I completely forgot to pay attention for a bit.
Wow. We asked for an hour and a half of your focus.
That's about an hour and 25 minutes more focus than I've got available in a day.
I've got bad news for you about what you've spent the last 6 years of your life doing.
What would that be?
Oh, no.
I didn't dare push forward now, not tonight. I imagined Eustace might somehow burst through the wall between the library and the Misericorde if I so much as uttered one syllable of the truth. I don't know.
You don't know what you were arguing about?
No. That is to say, she seems very angry with me, and I do not fully understand why.
That does sound like Eustace. This isn't the first time either. I remember things were quite tense between you when we rode down to the village. There tends to be a bit of friction when someone scares the living daylights out of people for a laugh. Honestly, Hedwig, when this happens in future, you can simply tell us that Eustace is being a bitch. It's much faster than dancing around the matter.
Moira snorted with laughter.
It's true.
Do you all not like Eustace?
I adore Eustace. She is a conniving, heartless, ugly little know-it-all, but I am fond of her. We have to put up with each other here, no matter how annoying or strange we can be.
That is true. It seems like the kind of it's the kind of annoyance that comes from also having
to live your entire life with this person and you have no choice in the matter.
Right. So you inevitably develop some kind of fondness for them, but also you're going to develop the kind of annoyance that can only really be fostered over such a period of time.
Yep.
So when they call her a bitch behind her back, I don't take that to mean that they also won't happily spend time with Eustace, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That just means they're grousing. People grouse.
What has Eustace so worked up anyway? She was acting very strange about the clock tower news.
Glad we're not the only one who felt that.
That's somewhat warranted, at least. The last one collapsed right on top of someone.
Oh, we didn't know about that.
It did?
It did indeed. Squashed the previous superior, in fact.
What?
What?
I'm sorry, what? I thought
Buried the fucking lead.
The soup was the soup at that time.
She was apparently not.
Okay, well, I guess we know how she got the job. And also, if someone died from it, there wasn't this angle. There was maybe an angle before where there was sabotage, but it's unclear why, right? Other than just to ruin some lord's, big name piece. But now we have the angle of, was it foul play to Moida? Moida?
Both Catherine with a K and Margaret looked rather grave.
Another friend of theirs?
It was horrible. We never did recover her body.
Oh, that's...
Uh-oh.
Not the Disney death.
I suppose there wouldn't be much to recover.
How horrible. What happened? I must confess that I wasn't interested in finding any clues or connections to Catherine with the C's death at this juncture. I was asking purely out of morbid curiosity.
Well,
Margaret looked impossibly grim.
Must we? If you can. Hedwig and I live here after all. I, for one, would like to know the history.
Thanks, Adela, for taking the,
The previous superior was a bit reticent at first about building a clock.
Might also explain why the current superior is all gung-ho about it.
I love clocks. They get me jobs.
What? What? I love clocks. They get me jobs.
Yeah, it got her the job.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. Now I'm following.
One clock equals one job.
Yeah. Okay. No. All right. Sorry. That one was on me. I was slow on the uptake.
Next step up, squish the bishop.
Squish it,
One
if you
more
will.
clock, squish the Pope. One more clock, squish the Lord himself. There we go. Quick promotion chain. That's called entrepreneurial spirit.
Move slow and break things.
But I remember the prioress, our superior now. was extremely enthused about the prospect. Eustace was furious about it. Yes, she was. She'd tell anyone who would listen what a terrible idea it was, what a waste of money it was, and so on.
And in our discussion around that, we're like, is it just Eustace doesn't want the noise of people being around and working on a thing for a few months? Because she likes her peace and quiet here, right? That's what she says.
Mm-hmm.
What did everyone else think? Catherine with a K wobbled her hand indecisively.
If I may speak for everyone in the room, everyone who was there, naturally, we all liked the idea broadly at first. Catherine, too, was the most excited about it, if you can believe that.
Oh!
So that's true. That's
Interesting.
true what the bishop said.
Okay, I thought they were just being scummy, but no. Okay, apparently that's the second source we've heard it from, so that makes it a little bit more likely to be true. Well, okay.
Catherine with a C was excited? That sounds so unlike her, from what I have heard at least. Moira and Catherine with a K looked surprised. Margaret told me all about Rames.
Ah, yes, that was rather funny. Catherine, too, simply would not shut up about it. Anyway, Eustace was very, very torn up about the clock tower. And we like Eustace. Maybe not so much right now, but broadly speaking. Of course. And I suppose her arguments were convincing. I think I mostly just wanted to stop hearing about it. So we rallied to her side. Yes, it was mostly a matter of supporting a friend.
Okay. Okay, so Eustace got everyone on their side, and they would like us to know now, here in the present day, that it was just about supporting a friend.
We tried to tell the superior, the dead one, that we opposed the idea. That we could use the money for something else. That we didn't need a bloody great clock in the middle of nowhere.
Right? Right? In the middle of fucking nowhere.
And she was having none of it. The old superior and the current superior eventually got very, very excited about this clock. We finally got through to the former prioress. Goodness, this is confusing. Soup. We convinced Soup.
They were at Soup.
We showed her that bits and pieces were already falling out of the clock. There were concerns about the craftsmanship. The old superior and Soup both wanted the tower completed as quickly as possible, for whatever reason. Hubris.
That's what we were suggesting.
Reminds you of something, eh, Hedwig? Anyway. We finally convinced Soup that the project was a bad idea, or at the very least needed to slow down. The superior was naturally furious. It was so silly, so much anguish over a building. Then one day, while Soup was trying to convince the superior that the building was dangerous, crash! Oh, it was a nightmare. Good God! It was instantaneous. One moment the superior was standing there, and the next, nothing but rubble. The pile of rocks beside the chapel is her body still underneath all that debris? Where else would she be? The builders packed up and left the same day. We didn't have the tools to dig her out. The Soup's first act as new superior was firing those men. Didn't even stop to think about giving the old superior a proper burial.
Ah, so this is giving a little bit more context to why some of the current sisters might have feelings about the current superior, right? Even if they were with her against the idea of having the clock because Eustace swayed them, it still would be hard to look at that and not see a little bit of an insensitive go-getter, right?
Luckily, I found a fragment. A bit of bone and flesh knocked clear of the rubble. So we were able to bury her, in a sense, up in the graveyard. The rest of her, well, she's just broken bones now, but I can assure you the smell lasted for months. Service in the chapel was unbearable.
Jesus Christ! Just having service next to a rotting body. All
Because you
right.
can't get under the rubble to dig it out. It was worst there, to be sure, but every now and then the wind would pick up and you'd get a whiff of rotting superior almost anywhere in the abbey.
Okay. So I also think this is the game being like, all right, also don't worry, we're not Disneying this. She's really dead. Just okay, just come
Unless somebody else died. Woo! How horrid. A true haunting.
That is a truly foul outcome.
Eustace, I think, always felt a little guilty about the whole thing. So I am inclined, shall we say, to be forgiving when she acts like an insufferable cunt. Yes. Before Catherine II's passing, that was the great tragedy of the Abbey. It hit Eustace hard.
How did Catherine with the C react?
I don't think she cared particularly, certainly not as much as Eustace. Catherine was driven by something else at that point. Indeed, on to her next big idea, as always. Honestly, the clock was always a bit of a distraction for her. She was enthused, but she was obsessed with another project while it was all unfolding.
What project?
Yes, you must tell us.
Moira, Margaret, and Catherine with a K all shared a look. Catherine with a K looked particularly grim.
I don't remember. It was always something or other. That side eye.
That side eye. Yeah, they know.
They know exactly what Moira was focused on, and it's something weird.
Catherine was focused.
Sorry, what dead
a C.
Catherine was focused
Yep.
on. And it's something weird, and we already suspected that because of Eustace's weird comments about
Yep.
dead Catherine becoming like a different person.
Yep.
She got fixated on something, and it led to her death, and it's something no one wants to talk about. What is it?
What is it?
The Superior's passing sort of overshadowed everything else. Indeed.
Of course. And we were back to Catherine with a C. All roads seemed to lead back to her and her mysterious preoccupations. I was desperate to know more and certain that these three were hiding something. But as we left the Misericorde and returned to the dorms to say our goodbyes, I felt oddly satisfied. I was terrified of Eustace's wrath, of course, and I hadn't learned much about the night Catherine with a C died. In fact, I wasn't sure how I could possibly learn anything more on that important matter. But something was building inside of me. I can only describe it as an uplifting paranoia. Eustace might be too touchy to approach directly, but what about Catherine with a K? Margaret and Moira? What had they been up to? Those furtive glances they had exchanged were as valuable, if not more so, than any account I heard about the night Catherine died thus far. As I fell into bed, I considered their strange expressions in my mind. Is that how I looked when I lied? Perhaps that's how obvious I had seemed to Eustace. Something to work on. I flipped my pillow over to fluff it. The spill had dissipated. The spill. Completely forgotten to ask Moira what on earth she had managed to do to my bedding. I sighed and turned the pillow over to the other side once more and nestled in for sleep. I could let it go. I had far more pressing inquiries for her. I drifted to sleep, feeling curiously proud of my own strategic thinking. It would not last, of course.
New tactics. Finally, Misericorde Tactics out now. All your favorite nuns in a hit TTRPG for the, I don't know, probably Game Boy Advance. Where's the Misericorde Tactics spinoff, huh?
That night, the strange painting I had encountered in the cellar invaded my dreams. And that was not my only worry. It will not shock you to hear that any and all confidence I had felt going to bed was gone by the time I awoke. In fact, when I dragged myself out of bed, all I could think about was Eustace's declaration that we are now enemies. Dare I go to service? Dare I even step outside of my room? As it turned out, I would not even have to dare. Yes?
It's me. May I come in?
Wow, so much Eustace today.
Do I have a choice in the matter?
We need to talk.
I think you made yourself quite clear last night.
I hope I did. But I also said something that I regret.
Oh?
I told you that we were enemies.
Goodness gracious. I haven't had to do this much Eustace in a very long time.
And, well, I do not really mean that.
This is also our first time recording since we were both sick.
Yeah, that is also true. We had a little bit of a flu going around, so forgive me if my Eustace is not as on point as it usually is.
I am not going to attack you, or be cruel to you, or anything of that sort. We do need to get along, after all. We'll be living here for a long time, God willing. What I mean to say is, I am angry with you, and I still believe what you are doing is wrong. And I will continue to fight it. But I do not hate you. And I do not wish to harm you. I let my temper get the better of me last night.
Good golly. I actually kind of believe her when she says that, honestly.
Yeah?
I had half a mind to leap out of the window. This, to be perfectly honest, felt even more intimidating than her behavior in the cellar. That threat you made. That you know why I'm here.
I do.
Well, I don't know what you could be referring to. I scarcely remember anything from before I took the oath. Whatever it is you think you're holding over my head, I don't remember what it is, not in the slightest.
I find that rather hard to believe, Hedwig.
I promise.
For all the good that is, right?
Eustace knows exactly how much a
you?
Hedwig promise is worth.
I wouldn't. Promises keep getting you into trouble, don't they? Even if I do believe you have no earthly idea what I'm talking about. I do very much know what brought you here. And, well, it's something no one would very much like to hear. And if it truly would be a surprise to you, well, it'd be a rather unhappy surprise, wouldn't it? So, I think my side of the board looks quite good. How does yours look?
All I want to do is chronicle everything that I can. For the sake of her memory, you know.
Spare me, Hedwig. You know that I know what you're really up to.
I want to do all of that. For the very reason I just told you. Her memory is important to me, despite your insistence that I didn't know her.
Be that as it may, I think you should relax. Leave the mystery be. Isn't that the Catholic thing to do, anyway? Without mystery, there's no reason to have faith in anything. Have a little faith. Believe whatever you want about Catherine with a C, but stop making it my problem.
Your problem?
Our problem. Everyone here. You might have fooled some of the sisters, but the second they discover the truth, they'll turn on you. Nobody likes to sneak.
I hated that she was right. Justify it or not, I was a sneak. A liar. A thief. A pervert.
All this to say, I'm giving you another chance. God struck down Uzzah for touching the Ark of the Covenant when it slipped. Remember how slighted David felt when Uzzah was only trying to help? I understand how you must feel. But remember, God gave specific instructions, and Uzzah did not follow them. As simple as it gets.
You are not God.
No. But I could strike you down well enough. And I would be right to.
And you say we are not enemies? Listen to yourself.
And God was not Uzzah's enemy. I have to be firm, Hedwig. But I would like to be friends.
She strolled over to my writing desk and picked up my workbook.
I'll be taking this. I'm sure you understand.
I thought you said you didn't want to be cruel.
This is for your own good.
Hedwig, just do literally stop. Just stop her. You fought back.
As I said, have a little faith. So, shall we walk to service?
I had no recourse. Very well. It is with some shame that I must admit I scarcely paid attention to the liturgy that day. I was lost in my own thoughts. Was this really the end of the road? I felt like Eustace had me by the throat. But if I had no idea what she was talking about in regards to my past, she did have me in check. For all I knew, she was simply threatening to tell a salacious lie, one that might ruin my reputation for good. Truth or no, the idea I could spend the rest of my life hated by my fellow sisters was a frightening prospect. I weighed my options in my head. I would disappoint the superior, but I hated to say it, that did not matter much. What could the superior do to me? Versus Eustace, who it seemed could definitely ruin the rest of my days. Angela would be disappointed, but that seemed to be a constant. I gazed up at the ceiling of the chapel. Catherine with a C. That's who I would be disappointing. And if that idea did not move me, if the stories of her strangeness and her flightiness were not enough to sway me from her defense, then would I not be disappointing God? After I had already disappointed him. Disobeyed him. If I was not already hell-bound for allowing myself to be removed from my cell, then surely I would be twice condemned if I gave up on finding justice for a lost nun. And what's more, if Eustace truly did retaliate against me, I would endure a lifetime of misery, but eternal salvation after. Could Eustace say the same? That was all well and good, of course, but how exactly would I continue? I looked down from the ceiling and accidentally locked eyes with Angela, who was looking at me disapprovingly from a pew ahead of me. She was irritated I wasn't paying proper attention, no doubt. Sister Angela. It all fell into place. I couldn't investigate Catherine with a C anymore, but Angela could. She was unpleasant, but she was nothing if not driven, and I even knew which direction to point her. Eustace and company. I couldn't help myself. Smiled relief that I navigated through this mire so quickly. Angela furrowed her brow, then turned around to face the pulpit. That pact Angela had forced me into would come in useful after all. I was still grinning when service concluded. Normally I would have wallowed for a whole day, perhaps multiple days after an encounter like this morning's. But here I was, back on my feet already. After service, we all filed out into the courtyard as usual.
Hedwig.
Ah!
Some of us are going to go to the river with Eustace later. Do you want to come along?
Really? Goodness, and I was thinking the fishing spot was something of a secret.
Been typed lit about it for a while, but I can't hide it forever. Everyone can benefit from a little fresh air. Right, Hedwig?
Of course, I'd be happy to come along. Eustace looked slightly taken aback by my quick acquiescence.
Leave it out half an hour. Din'll be too cold to fish soon.
I'm not really interested in fishing, but I do like to stretch my legs every now and then. Be back before sundown. Our new oblates should be arriving this afternoon.
Of course.
The superior nodded, then took her leave. Everyone else broke away as well, and I looked around to see if I could spot Sister Angela. She was bringing up the rear by herself as per usual. I moved to intercept her, and she looked taken completely by surprise. Sister Angela, I must speak with you. If you are available.
Hedwig,
I did my best to steer her toward the path to the garden. She was much taller than me, which made this more difficult than I expected. I ended up tucking her sleeve and nearly falling over as I tried to guide her.
Hedwig, what is the meaning of this?
I must speak with you.
Yes, you said as much.
I glanced at the others who weren't paying us any mind, but still too close for comfort. It is about... well, you know.
Ah.
What else would I be pulling you away for, Angela? Come on, do some of the work yourself here. She finally relented, although she violently yanked her sleeve from my grip before following me into the garden. We walked as casually as we could. Kept looking over my shoulder to see if Eustace had noticed which prompted Angela to hiss at me to keep moving forward. Finally, we arrived between the hedgerows. Sister Angela, I need your help.
I have been trying to offer it for some time now.
Take the win! Just take the win, Angela. It is something else. Well, it is related, but...
I feel like between Angela and Adela, we could arrange the worst chess match ever between the world's sorest winner and the world's sorest loser.
Oh my god, yes. No matter the outcome.
Spit it out.
My investigation is compromised. Angela arched one eyebrow and flared her nostrils. I braced myself for the worst, but she continued speaking quietly.
Oh.
Eustace caught on. She was furious too. She made all sorts of threats against me and was adamant that I stop.
It sounds like you have a primary suspect then. Why else would she react so poorly?
My thoughts exactly.
That sounds like progress to me, even if you shouldn't have let her catch you.
Although I have no evidence. And I think there's something more complicated to it all.
Explain?
Well, if the matter was that simple and she thought I knew about it. Was I already trying to talk myself out of my convictions? Hearing them spoken aloud prompted me to second-guess everything, I suppose.
She would kill you immediately. Is that what you think?
Exactly. But instead she keeps warding me away from things. Insisting that I accept the lie that James was responsible. Attempting to be my friend, telling me I'm being protected.
All steps on a ladder that could very well end with your death, Hedwig. She might simply be biding her time. Or she might not want to kill you if she can avoid it. Death weighs heavy on the soul, even for a practiced killer.
I suppose so, but that does not satisfy me. Say I went to the Superior and the Bishop and told them Eustace discovered what I was up to, reacted poorly. Would that be enough to make them act?
Absolutely it would. The Superior is looking for any excuse to act, which is why you and I formed a pact in the first place. We can be thorough and prevent her from barreling into the wrong decision.
In that case, I think I am making the right choice. I'm not ready to condemn Eustace just yet. In fact, the more I think about this, the more confident I become in my decision. If Eustace knew what I was up to, she would be worried I would do exactly that. Give her up to the Superior at the first sign of strange behavior. So if she is acting this way, I think she might truly believe she's trying to protect me from something.
Following this reasoning, the question must be, from what?
I am not certain.
Let us say I agreed with you. I do not, just to be clear, and offered to help. What would you want from me?
I already told Eustace I would cease investigating, and well, I feel it's in my best interest to at least appear to honor that. Which would bring things to a halt. But then I remembered our pact.
Indeed.
I could see realization passing across her face. I mean, I don't think this really changes anything, does it? I'm always investigating in parallel, I thought. And now it gets to be your responsibility in total. Well, not in total. You can do what I cannot. Eustace is wary of me, but not wary of you.
Sister Eustace barely knows I exist.
Exactly! Angela did not share my enthusiasm for this detail.
So what would you do in this new arrangement? Collect my observations and report them to the Superior? Claim credit for all of my work?
No! You could even tell the Superior what happened if you like.
No. This could work. Perhaps. We would tell nobody else, not even the Superior.
Of course.
What is it you need me to do exactly?
I explained my previous strategy to her. My notes, my surreptitious attempt to frame my questions as part of the chronicle work. Angela looked grave and eventually shook her head.
I cannot do that. You were in an advantageous position before. You could get away with a lie as flimsy as the chronicling premise. Not I. I do not have that kind of rapport with anyone else here.
Then surely you could come up with a different tactic?
I would have to become an entirely different person to be able to speak with the others as freely as you can.
I scarcely think I speak freely with them.
Far more freely than I can.
Aww. Actual remorse, Angela face.
Angela had an oddly wistful expression.
Just because I'm a bitch doesn't mean I don't realize I'm a bitch.
True.
You would still have a job to do. I cannot snoop on everyone for you. You will still need to be the one mingling with the rabble.
But Eustace!
Cannot know. The old method will have to be abandoned. That much is apparent. You will simply have to redouble your efforts at subterfuge.
How could I possibly do that with Eustace watching my every move?
You will have to become a better actress. Stay in her sight. Be present enough in her life that she believes you would have no opportunity to investigate anything. Ingratiate yourself with her and everyone else. They quite like you, you know.
Nonsense.
Shut up. They all fawn over you. This will be an easy crowd for you to please.
What on earth do you mean?
Haven't you noticed, Hedwig? They're all drooling. They slobber like dogs when they see you. Even before you left that cell, they would all talk about you like a piece of meat.
What?
They have had a wager running.
Uh-huh.
Didn't you know?
Yep.
No, I haven't the barest shred of an idea. Angela leaned forward and gripped my shoulders tightly. She looked slightly mad and spit flew out of her mouth as she hissed at me.
They have all been trying to get their fingers inside of you, Hedwig. The question of who will bed you first has been a topic of discussion since before Sister Catherine died.
I staggered backward out of Angela's grasp and nearly tumbled through the hedge behind me. No!
Sister Catherine was the ringleader, in fact.
That is a lie! It's a lie!
It is the truth.
Okay. But if it was a thing back when Sister Catherine was alive, then that changes the valence, doesn't it?
Yeah?
Because if it's like, oh, who's going to be the first person to bed? The person who is walled up in a cell for the entirety of her life. That has the valence of, haha, funny joke.
Yep.
Right? That doesn't, words are the same, but like the context that we're talking about someone who will never be out of a cell gives it, right? Because the joke is that it's an impossibility. So I think the fact that it suddenly became a possibility maybe meant the joke kept going, but no one quite knew how to change that.
At the same time, how impossible was it? There have always been keys. People get in places where they're not meant to.
True.
Including to the cell itself.
I guess. But did any of them really think that would be the case?
I don't know.
I find it hard to believe, as Hedwig has mentioned, like, this is exceptional.
Yep.
Right? You wouldn't want to break your vow to God. So.
I mean, Hedwig wouldn't, at least. Seems like some of the others are perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. But they also weren't anchoresses.
Yep.
They didn't live right? I don't know. Like, I believe Angela here, but I also believe it doesn't, and I also believe that they do have the betting pool going on now based on what we'd observed earlier. But I do believe when it started, it might have had a different tone. You know, like a kind of when pigs fly thing.
For the longest time, nobody seemed to pay much mind that we had an anchoress. But Catherine began to visit you more often. She would return and regale the group with tales of how she flustered you, courted you, taunted you. I remember it clear as day. I was in the Misericorde, attempting to relax, and Catherine would simply not cease talking about you, wondering aloud what you looked like behind those walls and under those clothes. Your height, the color of your eyes, how classical your face might be, what shape your breasts might be, and how you might tend to the hair between your legs. I listened to them all pick you apart like vultures. Do you understand, Hedwig? They will listen to anything you have to say if they think it might bring them closer to beating their knuckles against your cunt.
Stop! Stop this! cannot hear any more of this.
This is why I have been so cold toward them, Hedwig. This is why I have been warning you against becoming too close. These women aren't your friends. They have all been competing to fuck you first. A dirty, sinful game that I refused to play. That's why they hate me. I never played along. They think I'm spoiling the fun.
I did not want to believe it, but it made a certain kind of sense.
Does one have to, like... Okay, yes, they have a betting pool going on to see who could fuck Hedwig first. We've known this. We've suspected this for a while now. But does that have to preclude also just wanting to be friendly with someone? Right? Like Catherine
I'd
was saying...
feel pissed if I found out that people were getting close to me for that reason.
Sure, but I'm saying, is that the only reason they're getting close? Like Catherine was saying earlier, like how you feel, like you could have different feelings about how you feel about a person, but still ultimately want to be their friend. Because, you share the space with them, right? Like Eustace is still their friend even when she acts like an insufferable cunt. Hedwig is still their friend even when they're also on the side trying to see who can sleep with Hedwig first.
I still think it does cheapen the friendship.
I don't disagree here.
Okay.
I just don't think it's as all or nothing as Angela thinks.
That's fair.
Right. I want to make that part clear. I'm not saying that what they're doing is justified. I'm just saying that genuine friendship can also coexist alongside that. Right. And I don't think that the existence of that means that any overtures they've made towards genuine friendship with Hedwig are therefore null and void. I think it's probably a more complicated mixture of the two.
No wonder everyone put up with me. No wonder Eustace kept trying to get me alone. The world she wanted me to accept. The lackadaisical bliss she promised would follow if I chose to condemn James. It involved me giving into this bacchanal. This must be what Eustace wanted from me all along.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Eustace and Darcy seem like they're open to, fucking other people, but also they seem like they are mostly happiest with themselves. You know what I mean? I did not get a single overture of desire of intimacy from Eustace.
Yep.
And even with Darcy just seemed genuinely just overly friendly, and it took being on some kind of hallucinogen for that to slip. And even after that, she's like, "Oh, whoa, I thought you were Eustace. Sorry." I don't get that from him.
She insisted I accept the James story. She said that if I let things go, I could live on my days here happily. Simple, pleasurable life.
Well, I am afraid that this is our best remaining vector of attack.
What is?
Don't you see, Hedwig? If you want to continue this investigation in front of Eustace, you are going to have to convince her you have made that decision.
It's not even Hedwig who talks herself into fucking one of the other sisters. It's Angela who talks Hedwig into it.
Angela, no.
Oh, that's so much worse.
My throat was dry. I could scarcely speak. Oh.
I am afraid so.
Then again, how much of this is present tense Hedwig creating this convoluted "but thou must"? You know what I mean?
Yep. Be the bait. This is the only way I will be able to help you. You must dive into that world of sin so that I might move freely around the edges.
What would you do?
I would help you sort the information you gathered, naturally. I am far better versed in the history of this abbey than you. I can tell you who is lying and who is speaking true. Where's that book you've been writing in? I can get started right away. I will be able to piece it all together far better than you.
Eustace took it.
Well then, there's something I can do. If you were to distract Eustace, I could retrieve that book from her room.
She would suspect me.
Not if you were with her when it went missing.
She would suspect somebody else then.
Perhaps, but not me. To her, I am simply a bothersome spoilsport. And as far as she knows, we despise each other. She would never dream that I was down in the dirt with you.
We're all going to the stream soon.
Is that so? Well, there you have it. I will retrieve the book while you are away. And while you are there, ingratiate yourself. Make yourself seen, available. This is our best chance, Hedwig.
I am surprised at you. Why would you encourage me to do this? Will we both not see hell for this?
Perhaps. But if we did, our seats would be comfortable compared to theirs, and that is what matters to me.
Angela, all that matters is that I win over these fuckers.
Yep.
Not the it doesn't matter if we're going to heaven or hell. All it matters is that I beat their high score.
This plan is perfect for Angela because it also puts Hedwig at a disadvantage, so that at the end, it can look like Angela's responsible for everything wonderful and Hedwig just fucked around and dove into a life of sin.
Yep, it certainly can. Although I am not, maybe I'm just falling for the bait here, but I don't see Angela. Angela already gets what she wants out of this. Hedwig has made clear she has no interest in using this to upgrade her station. Angela wouldn't have to lie and take all the credit for her to get the win she wants.
But she could, and she would win more.
True. And I guess if all she cares about is winning more, right?
Even one ring higher in hell suits me if I know that I did the right thing for Sister Catherine's memory.
She held her hand out to me, just as she had done the night she had strong-armed me into her pact.
Deal?
I will try to ingratiate myself, as you say. But I can make no promises about my availability. Scarcely know what that would entail, and quite frankly, it might take a while for me to even be able to look any of the sisters in the eye. What you have told me is true.
This is our best chance.
I did not speak further, but I shook Angela's hand. My whole arm felt leaden.
Have a good time at the stream, Hedwig. I'll collect your book. Meet me outside the kitchens tonight and the real work can begin.
I nodded slowly. I walked away in a daze and tried to make my way back toward the cloister, one foot in front of the other. I had an inkling that something had been happening out of my sight, I supposed, after Darcy had kissed me by accident. But I never wanted to believe in any of that, so I never thought about it. I stared at the gravel path beneath my feet as I wandered. So this was why Catherine with the K and Margaret had been so anxious to speak with me after my mishap in the cell. They had been curious who had won their little game. I had answered them truthfully, mostly. But had they believed me? I remembered Adela putting her hand on my knee and stroking my chin. What if she had won? She had come closest so far. Come closest. Not so far. What on earth was I thinking? As I reached the stairs, I tilted my head up. It's really important that you in the present day hearing me tell this story understand I had no choice but to engage in copious amounts of lesbian sex. It was totally against my will. I had nothing to do with it. Eustace and the others were descending the staircase. She was holding her fishing rod and bucket, chatting merrily as Eustace could at least, with her friends. About me, I wondered.
Hedwig. You ready?
Yes, I was on my way to meet you all.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
One last morning of freedom before the rabble show up.
Oh yeah, and that's right. And when we get back to the Abbey, the newbies will be here.
The builders. I meant the new oblates.
We walked out into the cloister, toward the outer wall.
Adela isn't wrong, to be fair. Soon this peaceful little abbey will be overrun with noisy, boorish men. Sounds like paradise for you. Was I complaining? Oh, I'm not looking forward to having them around. I hope they're not rude. I hope they brought their own food.
And we'll have to get some more of this next time. Although before we leave, I remembered one other thing I thought of between episodes I wanted to mention.
Yeah, what'd you think
Remember
of?
how they talk in the present in the 1980s
Yeah?
setting? They were talking about a dancing plague going around the area.
Yeah?
I wonder, after we kind of learned what more about what dancing plagues were, I wonder if that's the polite way they're referring to all of the sisters giving each other permission to be gay, right? I wonder if historically that gets swept under the rug as, oh, there was a dancing plague here, or something like that. And that's kind of why everyone felt the permission from one another to do it. But who knows? Maybe someone will start breakdancing in the next episode, and that won't mean anything.
Eustace will bust a move at the waterfront.
I can pop and lock with the best of them.
Anyway, we'll see you all next time, and hopefully I'll get my gravelly voices back to working order. Bye.
Peace.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.